Well, I learned a lot for sure. It was definitely a time for a lot of reflection, and first of all, really reflection on my own life and what experiences I had with reconciliation that maybe wasn't true reconciliation, or was really just cultural assimilation.
For me, I would say I learned just that here at Messiah, cultural unacceptance still exists.
The thing that most struck me, or what I most learned at the retreat, was just the awareness that true reconciliation is not happening on this campus as much as I thought it was.
For the most part, I learned a proper model, not a proper model, but a better model on having conversations of reconciliation, and not just with one side of the conversation, but with both sides of whatever is the issue of reconciliation that's present. So just gave me a more tangible idea on how to orchestrate conversations like this a lot better.
I'm struggling with my own pride because the stories that they were sharing, they seemed like little things to me.
I would say what challenged me the most is just acceptance of the fact that issues of reconciliation, well, lack of reconciliation exist.
One thing that challenged me is, and I think most people would say this is challenging with any form of reconciliation, is to just self-analyze and to look back on where you're at that point in time in the past, or where you're going to be in the future, and just analyzing where these issues of reconciliation, whatever they may be, are present within it.
And I was realizing if we're really here for the purpose of reconciliation, it's going to take two to reconcile. And so I need to realize that even though this looks like something minor and small, if it really does bother them and it really has led to these feelings, I need to consider that.
For me, it was never an apparent issue in my life, like growing up. And so coming here, I really see like that everything's not equal and everything's not, the same, just based on, cultural differences. So I think a big challenge for me was just acceptance on, the fact that issues like this do still exist. Well, I learned about how reconciliation is both ways. So in order to participate in reconciliation completely, both sides must be willing to work together in order to come to a place of peace.
Another thing that I struggled with was the concept of white man's privilege. It was something that I really hadn't heard of or thought too much about.
After the retreat, I'm hoping to be more involved with both sides of the conversation, because naturally you tend to lean more towards whatever side you are for, whatever the case may be. But after the retreat really brought me to be more proactive in engaging with the other side and understanding the other side a lot more than just, oh, okay, I know what they believe in, or whatever the case may be.
So for me in my life, I'm just totally working on celebrating other people's cultural differences as well as my own, in hopes of both sides can come together and reconcile with each other. So that's just personally for me my goal.
I'm still discerning as to how I can use my privilege and my leadership positions to empower others and to give voices to others, and also to discern when there's times where I should sacrifice that role and sacrifice that privilege to give it to somebody else who might not otherwise have the chance to do it because they don't have the privilege that I have.
Being more active, not just in my personal or my spiritual sense of reconciliation, but professional as well. Being involved with a number of student organizations here, really moving forward and bringing the conversation of reconciliation, whether it be racial and ethnical or spiritual, whatever the case may be, into these professional areas that overall affect the community and campus wide. I would phrase it as painful, tough,
humbling, and eye-opening.
It was eye-opening.
But also hopeful.
yet enlightening and hopeful.